And as the sky painted across the heavens, I found beauty in chaos, purpose in discomfort, and light hidden in darkness. But as I stood across the ocean, I looked and I wondered and I saw, trickling down like seeds with droplets of hope. So with our future in our hands, we immerse these seeds in the depths of our lands.
I grew up in the cocoa area. My father was a cocoa farmer. On weekends, we go to farm with them. When they are working, we are there. But we don't do what we cannot do. At least picking cocoa in a basket, go and put it there. When they are breaking the pods, removing the sap from it. And all these things, carrying cocoa to the dry mat, and this is, it's what you can do. And it's just a learning process. That is why I'm a farmer here now. That I don't see that as a child labor. Anytime school vacates, we follow our children, our families to the farm, our parents. Started working. At the end of the day, I have 3 master's degrees, but I'm the son of a cocoa farmer, and I'm now a cocoa farmer myself.
We've seen a lot of documentaries on the cocoa and chocolate industry, but we started to ask ourselves, how different will the stories be if we allow the farmers to speak for themselves? So on this project, we immersed ourselves in the entire project. Having to live with these farmers for a number of days, we came to certain realizations that the industry is flawed in so many ways, but also these farmers have such a beautiful lifestyle and livelihood, and we thought it would be amazing to document all of that in their true self.
So the first act begins with poetry in motion, which is the poetic symbolism of what we saw the relationship between the farmers and the global chocolate market to be. So the contemporary dancer symbolizes the contribution of Ghana's cocoa resources to the global chocolate market, basically an African performing European contemporary dance. The baptism scene is synonymous to the seed being immersed into the ground. Now, the child was used to juxtapose the future of cocoa farming in Ghana. If this child, the golden seed, is nurtured properly, it will determine the future of our cocoa fruit, or the golden fruit.
Golden Seeds is a documentary film that seeks to amplify the voice of cocoa farmers in Ghana. We're expecting to discover the reality of what actually happens in the industry in comparison to their dreams as people, because that's exactly who they are, people with dreams.
Cho me din di saralawe. Me ye farmer ewo aponapon. Na me papa na koko efuo ni ye ni dia. E na obe frame. By then time owo mu no na me kwaja na efuo mu nkakra enti me practice won ho nkakra ansa na odi frame. Enti o frame no e na me so meto aso. Na me ko school me ko vocational school be pese me ko na me fam ye police but lack of we money enti me ntumi anko e na me jaye. Enti me wa kwanya se me hwe nkola no na ba bia me ntumi anduru no mo so omo du honom na won a wo be proso so no ma bro honom. Me bomodia me to koko na me yiska ni be to ho se na ebe ya me di be hwe won mo di be ko school se na ebe ya mo be ya ni patichufu.
I started cocoa farmer since 1989 from 2003 and I started my first cocoa farm for myself. And every 2 years I'm trying to expand the farm every 2 years. Yeah, cocoa jumano abuami. Nanso abraboni ye koye nim. Inti se minya no kese ko enimu a ebetumi ama manisu ade hu a me pese me de mebusua no edu no betumi aye kese asense ne a ebia mesusu no kra
me ma no Winifred akonoki se onu be ko school na waye next dachi na me ba Rashid Mohammed nso se oye me hu se nani obi anani gi ball ho pa enti o practice se ne be ya dachi obe footballer.
Once I done many so me pese me ye ma mabusia. Ene se me pese true cocoa no metime ahwe wo school. No bia anya school papa akọ. Na matime ahwe wo e wo wom head se na be ya obi anko yare nda ho. Ti me pese me ye plans ma me ma so bia banya good education. Yeah, na ne ono so eda na kuma so pese o achieve wo life no. True me no won saka. Me wife dey pese at least onya o pese o business woman to pese onya store bia obetra no obeton ade kakaka ena nkola no so de obi apese okọ school ebi pese o doctor ebi pese o lawyer ebi so be police ni enti me pese me hwe wom to that stage now obi apese odu
nhihye amaye de ama mema amabusia ne mema no me susu se mema mema no tumi akọ school edu university wo be ko won anim na mebusua nso me sidan a daachi ye betrem na ye bon kokra etumi aboaye.
It's not easy being a cocoa farmer because of the expectations. We think cocoa is money, and therefore if you produce a bag of cocoa, you should get something substantial. You don't see things that way because of politics. At any point in time, the government in opposition makes politics with cocoa.
Emrebimuno, na yeti cocoa scholarship. But me nim cocoa ekuyane bi potinya owo me mantem ha. Anasum ha metimi di research re so se wanya saa akwanya ne bi.
Se kuyani ne babenya cocoa board scholarship obe presa ninsa edenka eno ne yen how kese a akuafo no yewom.
Some of the interventions today which wasn't there during our time when we were young, when our fathers were farming cocoa, the government subsidized fertilizer. At a point it became free, that every farmer go and pick it free. But that was even worse because politicians hijacked it. And along the boundaries with Ghana and Togo, Cote d'Ivoire and Togo, you will openly see people smuggling Ghana fertilizer with inscriptions boldly written, not for sale. They're taking them out, and you dare not talk because they have political backings. When the fertilizer was free, for about 3-4 years, I did not receive a single fertilizer for my farm. Then there's another intervention. We call it CODAPEC, Cocoa Pests and Diseases Control. But what the CODAPEC is doing is that they give free insecticides and they form gangs in the cocoa growing areas. The gangs comes to you, they spray your farm, and that one too, there's always a problem. It was politicized.
Farmers, especially in Hano, time omo the gang ne buy no spring gang no ye nya bi ye do so a nti so wan yire wo ho a won ba nipa mi ni nsa papa omo si ye kuro so inro ne de oman but machine e de be spray de ye enta nya ntina inro no go a wo de man kura wan yire no ho inro no the
cocoa board and as the government has a good intention towards cocoa production, but human as we are, people want to cash in and they take undue advantage.
Make a workshop. My any brownie and a kusia. Your coin or the cocoa are my baking, and then they buy small box. Now, or price now, almost the ton or what. Ghana hano would buy Ghana is came 40 cedis. Na cocoa no say better 20 and 15 pieces. Beans no. Inti u calculate pa 40 beans. Sa 40 a one bag na just enye sika ketua. Inti abrofo no mo sisi e.
O say price ni de bia e beka so mo sisi e. Because na hard rate through say yen a ye cocoa. Enye na ye kire boa ye diton ni onu to cocoa no kire boa o de beto ena yensu no cocoa no ye sheda ndi wa ha se na ye kai etimi fanya fi ji se wo beto enta ko ye price bi a wo de to ma ye ne nji ye ku afun de ye hu no so wo sisi ye big companies ni sisi ena won a wo to cocoa na kasa nso no
ba majority ni nim se abrofu ni nya emfaso bebre ba ye ni se ti di omo de bebre yen no ni asumusa ha yen so yen tumi nka yen tumi nya ho hwe ti asumusa.
Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are trying to form a concerted effort to try and regulate the prices of cocoa on the international market. This is a very ambitious goal. Yes, we will get there, but the very basis is that we do not have that capacity to control the prices to a very large extent.
Oh no, there is this Cocoa Producers Alliance. Ghana is a member. Africa is the leading producer. They cannot, because cocoa is a cartel. The people have their own way. Well, see, there are a whole lot of things we need to do in the cocoa industry. But unfortunately, seemingly illiteracy is a challenge. The youth are not interested in farming because the farmers, at the point, they have no, because we don't have farmers cooperatives like Ivory Coast. It's individual farm holdings, and therefore they don't have a collective map to talk about or against some of these injustices.
Ade ba ko ye ekuafu ni se ekuafu na nkasa no ye nheda ye nkabom cooperative nti ya ye ni ano nti ye ho na sabe udo we fukura na obi ba se brother mema o se ya wan fa mana essay
education ni here more because farmers no majority ni illiterate nti de omo de bebre ye bia na ya so youth no ebi fi se kuayo ye illiterate for ejuma iti onyi kakra na o se okokrom ekopa ejuma bi ye ba mi ye sure se ye improve education na e ma omuti ase se unya asase na uye ni ye a daachi ubenye sika na wo de ahwe family mi ye sure se majority a true into town omu nkobium
minya ya anka ekuafo banya access for nyema ya makai say cocoa clinic ekuani e bia obetimi anya insurance bia oni ni na busua nyina even kra hospital free no manya sa akwanya no e na e bia ekuani betimi adofu saa na wanyi wabo akokra oni pension bia e je say nia wotimi ado na ho odi sa na ontimi do bi ma je say na adwuma asi oni pension bia te say na government workers na e wo ho et youth na oba na hwe say odi ni ho ba ra ekuayo mu a on person de ni ho bewrem but say when be da homa ekuafo say at least we adwuma na up to be 60 years na government workers ni kono no so onu so benya pension youth no ba na say onkopre or cost school kura onkopre say cost and this or ya aban adwuma obefo so say onya land a ono so be farming.
I'm very happy to work with a Bokfa, and I'm very happy to be a farmer. But what I want our external buyers to do, if they can, is that they should, apart from the premium, they should try as much as possible to come and support us fully to do certain community developmental projects. Example, putting up kindergarten schools, buying computers and other things for the community schools in the communities where they buy their cocoa from or where they source their cocoa from.
In Ghana, the farm gate price of cocoa is determined by Ghana Cocoa Board. The government has no hand in it. The farmer has no hand in it. It is always based on the world market price, which Ghana Cocoa Board doesn't have a control. We spend or we consume less than 1% of the total production every year. Have you taken Milo or chocolate today? No. We prefer taking Lipton or yogurt or something. See, so the price is always controlled by the external consumers, the buyers, the large multinationals who are in confectionery and chocolate industries. It's the demand and supply at work here. I wish the cocoa producing countries, have a way of motivating nationals, citizens of the producing countries to take cocoa. So if we were to consume cocoa, the supply will go down and we can bargain the price. If cocoa is processed and sold, that will have given us a bigger price. Like Cocoa Processing Company, CPC, some time ago they were producing cocoa cake and other cocoa powder which they sell. But the multinationals also have a way of going against some of these things. They have some measures, they put some measures in place. I don't know specifically, but it affects the export of those things.
Yeng company ewo aha na ebeboa ama ahuhiahia eba ekuafo so no ebeba fam because your company wa na youth or ye adwuma wo ma oni ne ma omho betom.
We end up not having the bargaining power. Let's imagine Ghana produces 900 metric tons of cocoa. So far, we have the capacity to process 450,000 metric tons, but as we speak, we are processing less than 250,000 metric tons per annum, which means that even half of our capacity, half the capacity we have as a country, we are unable to process them, let alone processing all the 900,000 that we are producing. We need huge investment in technology, in equipment, in machinery, and even in research. Ghana have actually made some strides over the years, projecting production or processing from 24% to 34%. This was a report from Cocoa Board, which means that we are actually processing more, and there is a set target for 50% soon. If we process the raw cocoa beans, we are getting more than 80% of the entire chocolate revenue. Okay, so just imagine increasing processing from 24 to 34%. It means we are making 80% revenue or 80% income on that little margin. So just imagine what margin we can make if we are able to increase the processing from 34, which is currently standing, to 50.
So you bought chocolate dinner. Many just say me okay no me ka and then chocolate ewo amman so na say ewiase nyina say man no cocoa na ko womunya enye chocolate nti many just say you bought chocolate dinner many.
So I feel very proud because my cocoa beans is part of this chocolate that they produce out there.
What we've witnessed is a story of hardship. We have innocent people roped in a system designed against them that almost looks like an unending cycle. But then what we've also witnessed is a story of resilience and positivity. In understanding this, we've come to see that at its core is a people committed to family, love, and also a people with a sense of community. What the rest of the world fails to see is that they are not only farmers, but they are people too. We hope that this documentary could potentially spark the change that the industry needs.